Today we're gonna watch one of the best performances in a movie given by an actor in the history of cinema. The actor is none other than Mr. Al Pacino, one of my top favorite actors of all time, and the movie is called Scent of a Woman, released in 1992. Before we start with the lesson today, if you're new here, I created this channel to help advanced and intermediate learners of English communicate with more confidence, more accuracy, more clarity, and more awareness. So if this sounds like something you want for yourself and your English, subscribe to this channel and follow the videos I'll be posting here week after week. Alright, so let's start watching the scene and breaking down and explaining some stuff here. It's a 5-minute clip, so I'm not going to explain every single thing here, but I am going to be pausing sometimes and making some comments and explaining some of the most relevant vocabulary in my opinion, okay? If there is any word here that I don't explain, you guys can feel free to comment below and ask me directly about that word that I didn't explain here in the video, and then I'll be happy to answer you and reply to you, okay? So let's get started here.
I'm going to recommend to the disciplinary committee.
Look, sorry guys, I just want to start with the pronunciation here, because did you hear how he says, I'm going to recommend. It's a da-da, a very light sound. I'm going to recommend to the disciplinary committee. All right? So listen again.
I'm going to recommend to the disciplinary committee that you be expelled. Mr. Sims, you are.
Let me go back here a little bit. This is a nice word. When a student is expelled from school, this student is asked by the principal, the committee, the board of teachers to leave, okay? Usually it's a problematic student, a bad student who causes a lot of problems and trouble in school. So this student is expelled. So here, Charlie is almost getting expelled from this very traditional, prestigious all-boys school because he saw 3 boys doing something wrong. I'm not going to tell you what. You can watch the movie later to find out. He saw these boys doing something wrong. He knows who the boys are, but he is choosing not to inform on those boys or not to tell the principal, the headmaster, who did that bad thing. He's choosing to be silent, all right? But he's almost being expelled here because of that. Let's see what happens.
Mr. Sims, you are a cover-up artist and you are a liar.
But not a snitch.
A snitch is exactly that. It's someone who informs on somebody else. So if Charlie had told the headmaster, the principal, who the boys who did the bad thing were, Charlie would be considered a snitch. That's kind of an informal word to refer to someone like that. And it's usually used in a disapproving way. All right?
Excuse me?
No, I don't think I will.
Mr. Slade.
This is such a crock of shit.
A crock of shit. This is all bullshit, okay? A crock of shit is like, oh, this situation here doesn't make any sense. This is such a crock of shit.
Please watch.
By the way, look, these are the 3 boys who did the bad thing, okay? That you can see here. This one right here, this one, and this one, all right?
Watch your language, Mr. Slade. You are in the Baird School, not a barracks. Mr. Sims, I will give you one final opportunity to speak up.
Mr. Sims doesn't want it. He doesn't need to be labeled still worthy of being a bad man.
It's interesting that he doesn't really say he doesn't need to be labeled. He says he don't need. He don't need. It's not correct. It's a mistake. But guys, that's why it's important that you watch movies and series when you are practicing English, because you can start noticing things like that, like, oh, sometimes native speakers deliberately or intentionally make some mistakes depending on what they want to communicate. So here, Al Pacino's character doesn't say he doesn't need, but he don't need. He don't need to be labeled. He don't need to be labeled. All right? So it's interesting to notice.
What the hell is that? What is your motto here? Boys, inform on your classmates. Save your hide. Anything short of that, we're going to burn you at the stake.
Okay, so we had that expression that I just shared, I just mentioned, inform on someone. Save or hide is another expression that means to escape a dangerous situation, like save or hide, run so that you don't get caught, all right? And he used a very nice word here a little before, motto, okay? Look.
What is your motto here?
Yeah, your motto is like a statement or a sentence that usually you live by. What is your motto? What is your mantra? Okay? For example, I can say that my motto is live life with simplicity. You see, this is my personal motto. Yeah, it's a statement, it's a phrase that communicates my guiding principle, how I operate, how I live my life. That's my motto. So here, he is questioning the school's motto. What is your main principle here? What is your motto? All right?
Boys, inform on your classmates. Save your hide. Anything short of that, we're going to burn you at the stake. Well, gentlemen, when the shit hits the fan, some guys run and some guys stay. Here's Charlie facing the fire, and there's George hiding in Big Daddy's pocket.
This is nice to point out here. First of all, he says, when the shit hits the fan. Nice expression. When the shit hits the fan means when the situation gets really, really bad. Okay? If you picture the expression, it's actually kind of funny and disgusting to picture that. Because, the fan is that object that we use when it's hot, for example, and we need some air, some wind coming directly at us. Imagine throwing shit at that and, the fan is going to spread shit all over the place. So when the shit hits the fan means when the situation gets really, really bad, when things become really difficult, really hard. It's also funny that he's talking about Charlie and this other boy, because this other boy here, George, he also saw the three boys doing the bad stuff, all right? But this boy here, George, he is kind of trusting or hoping that his father will save him, because his father is a rich man and he's very influential at the school. He makes a lot of contributions, financial contributions and donations. So that's why Al Pacino says that he is hiding in Big Daddy's pocket. All right. And Charlie, on the other hand, is facing the fire, because Charlie, I didn't say this, but Charlie is a poor student. He's actually going to this prestigious school because he is on a scholarship. Okay, so because he was always a great student, he won the scholarship. So if he loses the scholarship, if he is expelled, he doesn't have any father, any rich father who's going to actually try to bribe or pay the school to keep him there. Okay, he's going to lose his opportunity forever.
And what are you doing? You're going to reward George and destroy Charlie.
Are you finished, Mr. Slade?
No, I'm just getting warmed up. I don't know who went to this place. William Howard Taft, William Jennings Bryan, William Tell, whoever. Their spirit is dead, if they ever had one. It's gone.
I didn't tell you this before, but I forgot. But Al Pacino here plays a blind character. So his character here is supposed to be blind. He doesn't see anything. The way he plays a blind person is so masterful here. You really believe that he is blind because of the way he uses his eyes and where he projects his look, his vision. This is such great acting, guys. Let's continue.
You're building a rat ship here. A vessel for seagoing snitches.
Vessel is another word that you can use for ship. Okay, a ship? Yeah? Vessel is another word that can be used instead of ship.
And if you think you're preparing these minnows for manhood, you better think again.
He's comparing the boys here to minnows. A minnow is a small fish, okay? Because we're talking about a vessel, a ship. Like the school is like a vessel, like a ship, all right? For snitches. And then a minnow is a small fish. So if you think you are preparing these minnows, these small boys, these young boys for manhood, yeah, If you think you are preparing them to become great men in the future, you better think again.
Because I say you are killing the very spirit this institution proclaims it instills.
This is a great word, guys. Instill, okay? When you instill something into someone, you teach, you pass a principle, an idea, usually gradually. For example, that's what parents do with their kids. A parent, ideally, spends a lot of time with their kids, right? And as you spend more and more time with your kids, slowly you instill into your kids some lessons, some principles, some things that they will learn, that they will carry for their lives, okay? So instilling something has this idea of teaching, passing something gradually, okay?
What a sham. What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today? I mean, the only class in this act is sitting next to me, and I'm here to tell you, this boy's soul is intact. It's non-negotiable. You know how I know? Someone here, and I'm not going to say who, offered to buy it. Only Charlie here wasn't selling.
Sir, you're out of order.
Out of order? I show you out of order. You don't know what out of order is, Mr. Trask. I'd show you, but I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too fucking blind. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place. Out of order. Who the hell do you think you're talking to?
Guys, this is great, great acting, man. I mean, look at this guy's performance. I mean, you know, Al Pacino, for me, is one of the best actors ever, period. You know, he's so versatile, so good, so intense in his delivery. This is a master class on acting, you know? And to be very honest with you guys, I don't see actors nowadays, these younger actors nowadays, pulling off performances or giving performances like this, something that is really intense, really impactful. Most performances I see nowadays are kind of, you know, but that's my opinion. I digress. Let's continue here.
I've been around, you know. There was a time I could see, and I have seen, boys like these, younger than these, their arms torn out, their legs ripped off. But there is nothing like the sight of an amputated spirit. There is no prosthetic for that.
Wow, this part is really beautiful. Because, you know, in the movie, guys, he plays a retired military man. I think he's a lieutenant colonel. He plays a blind, retired military guy. So, you know, he has been to war. So he knows what war looks like. And he is comparing here what happens to soldiers in war with having your spirit crushed. For example, in war, if you lose your arm or if you lose a leg, nowadays there are prosthetics to help you with that. Yeah, so you can have as much of a normal life as possible. Even though you don't have an arm anymore, you have a prosthetic that can help you with that. Or for legs, you know, or for arms. But what he's saying here is there is nothing like an amputated spirit. You see, when a person's spirit is crushed, there is no prosthetics for that. This is such beautiful poetic language he's using here. Yeah, let's watch this last part here again. This is really cool. The poetic language he uses, you know.
Boys like these, younger than these, their arms torn out, their legs ripped off. But there is nothing like the sight of an amputated spirit. There is no prosthetic for that. You think you're merely sending this splendid foot soldier back home to Argonne with his tail between his legs, but I say you are executing his soul. And why? Because he's not a bad man.
By the way, Baird is the name of the school, guys. In case you haven't gotten this, so Baird man, Baird is the name of the school. Yeah. So he's not a bad man, so let's expel him.
Bad man. You hurt this boy, you're gonna be bad bums. The lot of you.
Bum You hurt this boy, you're gonna be bared bums. A bum is a guy who lives on the street, who doesn't work, doesn't have a job, doesn't make any significant contribution to society. That's a bum, okay? A guy who doesn't like to work, who doesn't want to work, doesn't want to contribute anything. So he's saying here that if they hurt Charlie by expelling him, they're gonna become bared bums, not bared men, okay?
And Harry, Jimmy, Trent, wherever you are out there, fuck you too.
Stand down, Mr. Slade.
I'm not finished. As I came in here, I heard those words, cradle of leadership.
Guys, a cradle is a small bed where you put babies in, you know, where babies sleep. Where do babies sleep? They sleep on a cradle or in a cradle, okay? So cradle of leadership, you know, he's talking about the school that sells itself as the cradle of leadership. Like, you know, here is where we form the leaders of the future, right? But he's questioning that now.
Well, when the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. And
guys, this is interesting. Let me just go back a little bit here. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. So I just explained to you what a cradle is, the baby's bed, right? Bough is the large branch of a tree. Okay, that's a bough. This line here actually comes from a lullaby. A lullaby is a song that you sing for children, for very small children, like babies, you know, to put them to sleep. This is a lullaby. And the lullaby, if I'm not mistaken, is called Rockabye Baby. Rockabye Baby. And then there is this line in this lullaby, when the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, or something like that. I'm going to play the clip here so that you can see it.
When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall.
But this is a cultural reference that I'm sharing with you now. But he is talking about the importance of having your foundational principles intact. He is saying here that the way the school is acting or behaving with this situation is going against the spirit, the principles that the school believes it has, you know? So when the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, meaning if you lose your foundational guiding principles, everything will crumble, everything will fall or come down, all right?
cradle will fall, and it has fallen here. It has fallen. Makers of men, creators of leaders, be careful what kind of leaders you're producing here.
Ooh, nice line, right? Makers of men, creators of leaders, be careful what kind of leaders you're producing here. Ah, so good, man.
I don't know if Charlie's silence here today is right or wrong. I'm not a judge or jury, but I can tell you this. He won't sell anybody out to buy his future.
Nice. Sell anybody out. When you sell somebody out, you betray that person by informing on that person. Because, you know, guys, in the movie here, the principal, Mr. Trask, before the scene, offered Charlie a deal. And the deal was, hey, tell me who the boys are that did this bad thing here. And in return, I will send you to Harvard, or I will give you a letter of recommendation to Harvard. You see, so the principal was trying to buy Charlie. You see, but Charlie said, no, I'm not going to tell you who did it. You know, it's against my principles to inform or to snitch, right? So that's what Al Pacino is saying here now. He won't sell anybody out to buy his future. He's not going to damage other people so he can have a great future. All right? This is a great line. Great line.
I can tell you this. He won't sell anybody out to buy his future. And that, my friends, is called integrity. That's called courage. Now that's the stuff leaders should be made of.
Ooh, nice, right? Integrity, courage. These are characteristics that leaders should have, or leaders should be made of. And now even Mr. Trask, the principal, is starting to listen and to think like, yeah, I think, what you're saying makes perfect sense.
Now, I have come to the crossroads in my life.
The crossroads, guys. The crossroads is when you are stopped and you have two possible ways to take. You can go this way, you can go that way. But you have to make a choice. You have to make a decision. We call this a crossroads. Okay, you are at the crossroads in your life. When you are in the crossroads or at the crossroads in your life, you are at this place where you have to make a choice. But it's a permanent choice, kind of. For example, should you have kids or not? At some point, you're going to have to decide this. Should you get married or not? At some point, you're going to have to decide this. When you are in these moments of decision, these kinds of decision, like difficult decisions, you can say that you are at a crossroads and you have to make a choice. All right?
I always knew what the right path was. Without exception, I knew. But I never took it. You know why? It was too damn hard. Now here's Charlie. He's come to the crossroads. He has chosen a path. It's the right path. It's a path made of principle that leads to character. Let him continue on his journey. You hold this boy's future in your hands, committee. It's a valuable future. Believe me, don't destroy it. Protect it. Embrace it. It's going to make you proud one day, I promise you.
Awesome. By the way, guys, Al Pacino won the Oscars for Best Actor for this performance, by the way. The movie is Scent of a Woman, and for playing this character, I think his name is Frank, this blind, retired lieutenant colonel, Al Pacino won the Oscar for Best Actor. I mean, obviously, right? I mean, this is such a great performance. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this masterful performance by Al Pacino and learning some English with it. And now, let me ask you, what other movie or TV series should I create a lesson, a video about? Leave your suggestions here in the comment section below. Leave a movie, maybe a scene or a clip that you would like me to play here on the channel, react to it, comment on it, and also describe and explain some of the situation and the vocabulary from this clip. All right? So leave your thoughts, your suggestions here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Guys, thanks for watching, and in case you haven't seen it yet, make sure you watch my entire pronunciation playlist. It's a series of videos all about English pronunciation. I'm going to leave the link in the description and also as a pinned comment down below. See ya.